research methods presentation on stress and eating habits. My name is Yolita.
My name is Roxana.
Jasmine.
Miriam. And Claudia.
So going ahead and starting off with the background, we went ahead and started with, in past researchers concluded that there is a correlation between stress and eating habits. Our California State University Dominguez Hills classmates and our research methods human services class made up our sample group, which is N equals 20. Similar to past research, we focused our study on college students. The purpose of our research was to study if stress influences the eating habits of college students. During a student's time in college, stress plays a role in the changes of their eating habits. Past findings have indicated that college students who experience high levels of stress make poor dietary choices. The American Psychological Association also reported that research demonstrates the connection between stress and eating habits. It stated that people tend to eat high-calorie food when they are feeling stressed. The Stress in American survey suggests that stress indeed influences eating habits. 33% of adults report that they have overeaten or eaten unhealthy food in the past month because of stress. 37% of adults said that they eat to be able to manage stress, while 34% report that overeating or eating unhealthy food because of stress is a behavior habit. And lastly, a majority of adults, 67%, stated that because of stress, they skip meals due to a lack of appetite. Additionally, 36% reported that they skip a meal because they do not have time to eat.
Next is our hypothesis. So our research question was, how does stress impact eating habits among college students? And our hypothesis being stress increases bad eating habits among college students. Our independent variable was stress. Stress is a state of mental or emotional strain or tension resulting from adverse or very demanding circumstances. Our dependent variable being eating habits. Eating habits refers to why and how people eat, which foods they eat and with whom they eat, as well as the ways people obtain, store, use, and discard food. Our method was a survey research design. This research surveyed 20 students in the Human Services Department in our research methods for 60 class. It took place in Cal State University of Dominguez Hills during the spring semester of 2018 to explore the relationship between stress and eating habits. Our group developed questions that were asked to the class through SurveyMonkey, having 24 hours to complete it. Our first question being, on an average semester week, how many times do you feel stressed? Our second question was, during a school week, how would you describe your eating habits? 1 being very healthy, 2 unhealthy, 3 neutral, 4 unhealthy, and 5 very healthy. And we measured our data through a correlation test to see the relationship between the variables.
Okay. So next is the results, and we're going to start off with the demographics. So in the survey, we had 20 participants from our Human Services Research Method class. So we had 18 females, 2 males, and as in the pie chart shows, the majority of our pie charts indicates that females are the majority in our survey. Okay, so next we're going to start out with the age. So 21 were, there was 2 students that were 21, 3 students that were 22, 2 students that were 23, 3 students that were 24, 1 student that was 25, 1 student that was 26, 1 student that was 27, 1 student that was 28, 1 student that was 29, 1 student that was 31, 1 student that was 33, and 2 students were 40, and 1 student was 42 years. So as you can see in our pie chart, there's a variety of age among our class. So next we're going to talk about race. So 3 were other, 3 were African American, 11 were Hispanic and Latino, 1 was Native American, 2 was mixed. So as our pie chart illustrates, the majority were Latino and Hispanic in our classroom. So next is our histogram. So in our first histogram, was on average semester, how many times do you feel stressed? So as you can see, the majority of the class indicated that 6 students feel stressed 3 times a week. In our second histogram, during a semester week, how many times do you describe your eating habits? So 4 students described themselves as eating unhealthy. 9 students indicated that they describe their eating habit as neutral, and 5 students indicating that they describe their eating habits as healthy. Okay, so our results, so we did a correlation test. So our value of significance was 0.385. Since it is bigger than 0.05, it was not significant. Therefore, there was no relationship between the independent and dependent variable. Okay, so this is our scatter plot. So as you can see, there is no pattern in the scatter plot. Therefore, no correlation between the values, and the values do not relate among each other.
Okay, so moving on to our discussion, our results disagreed with past researchers. Our research indicated that there was no correlation between stress and eating habits, which means that there was no relationship between the 2 variables. The results addressed research gaps because the result was focused on traditional college students, which limited us to less different populations to answer our research question. Next on, loose strains. One strain in our research study was the setting of the survey. The survey was put together by Dr. Fong and provided to our classmates via email, which allowed them to access it by phone and computer. It made it easy for participants to complete the survey and for the researchers to collect the data. Another strength in our research study was receiving consistent feedback from Dr. Fong in our communication with our group members. The homework feedback assignments from Dr. Fong helped us enhance our work. Our group had weekly meetings where we discussed the feedback we received from Dr. Fong and worked to improve the quality of our work for future homework assignments. Okay, so moving on to limitations. Our limitations was that we had a small sample size. Only 20 students completed the survey, which limited us to only have a small amount of responses. The survey also only consisted of 2 questions related to our topic. Having more questions on the research topic may have given us more information to come and a wider range of answers. Another limitation was that with a smaller sample size and focusing on only traditional students, we had a less variety of population. And continuing, the findings informed the literature contradicted to the results of our survey. The literature argued stress influenced eating habits. However, our results demonstrated that there was no relationship between stress and eating habits. For further research, it has been learned that there should be focus on different populations and not based on traditional college students.
Okay, so now we're going to be talking about implementations. We found that there was no correlation between stress and eating habits, which means that there is no relationship between these 2 variables. Some possible implications of our study are sample size, a small sample size, limitations of different populations because we focused on only traditional college students. Our participants were mostly female gender as well. For interventions for students with stress in college, we have a meditation room, physical activities such as exercise, activities of interest, leisure activities, stress-free events on campus, education of how to cope with stress. For interventions for students with bad eating habits, we offer healthier food options in the food court food store, prepare meals at home to eat during the week instead of buying out. We have workshops, education on nutrition as well. In conclusion, our findings indicated that there was no correlation between stress and bad eating habits, which means that there is no relation between these 2 variables. Through our results, it can be used to ensure that the information is available in a way that is easily understood by the policymakers. It can also help by fostering the interpretation of the information and its ultimate use to improve policies and programs. As for the decision and intervention makers they can use our results to support their decision depending on the populations here at CSUDH. For example, based on race, limitations, class. If they see that the data is giving them positive experiences as they make their decisions, even if there is no correlation, then it will help with the commitment to improving data collection systems and continuing to use information being generated.
Okay, class, that concludes our presentation. We hope you enjoyed it, and thank you very much for watching.